Hi friends, welcome into my craft room Heidi Ensemble DIY. Today's episode has brand new projects using Dollar Tree supplies to keep you on a crafter's budget. We're going to be focusing on some beautiful fall crafts using Dollar Tree signs and a couple other random items. Alright, now let's get crafting. This project is so easy to make. Grab some random fabric, some Easter eggs, and some twine or rope. Now I ended up going with rope eventually because I thought it would go faster wrapping the top, but we're going to be making some darling farmhouse acorns that you can use to decorate on a tabletop or decor. It is so easy to do. We're going to cut out some fabric. I went with about a 4x4 square, and then we're going to put some glue on the egg where the seal is to keep it together from popping open. This project is so easy because we're going to just put a dollop of glue at the end of the egg and then bring up the fabric around the sides, creating a pleated look. We're just basically getting that tension in there really tight as we're pulling the fabric upward towards the other side of the egg. And I just keep putting some hot glue and then pulling the fabric down so everything is laying as flat and smooth as possible. When you get to the very top, you're going to notice that there are all kinds of bulky pieces of fabric. We want to cut that off. We want to have as little fabric at the top as possible so that the rope or twine, whichever one you want to work with, because you can use them both, we want to make sure they're laying flat as much as possible. I'm going to take this rope from the Dollar Tree, add some hot glue, and then I'm going to start adding my rope, going around it, and just taking my time. The cleaner you are with the hot glue, the higher quality all projects always look. I don't ever like to rush hot glue projects because it is a little stringy, especially if the heat of the hot glue is not all the way warmed up. It can be even stringier. So I'm going to just keep adding my glue and going around and around and around until I coil all the way to the very top of that egg. Now at the top of the acorn, because that's what we're making, you're going to want to push that rope down in there with your hot glue as tightly and firmly as you can, and then you're going to cut off about an inch. It depends on how long you want the top to be, honestly, but you're going to coil that all down in there, push it in nice and tight, and then fray the top of that rope. So many times I'm at the Dollar Tree and I see these beautiful signs and I think, what can we do with them other than just hanging them up? I picked up a couple of these pallets. They look like crates to me, and I thought, you know, it would be really cool if we took these signs, we cut them down and paired them with these wooden crate slat pieces that you can find in the craft section, but this particular one is in the $+ craft section. I am just measuring out the width of the wooden piece, and then once I've got a line where I know where I'm going to cut, I'm going to use my box cutter and go over it a couple times. Now I will highly recommend cutting both sides. It'll have a cleaner finish on both sides. I did not do that, and you'll see exactly here what happens when you don't score both sides. You will have some of that backside tear a little bit. It's not a big deal, honestly. If it does happen, you can just always touch it up with some paint. You can do all kinds of cute things to make it look more farmhouse rustic. That's the greatest thing about farmhouse stuff, that you can have some stuff that looks a little bit more rustic looking. Anyway, go ahead and remove the twine off of the back of these wooden signs, and we're going to use our staple gun and just staple that onto your sign. I did them on both sides because, again, we're building a crate. Once you've got those two sides stapled, then you're going to go to the back side and put on the other side. Now I decided to use two different signs because there is nothing better than a cute decor piece for your home, except for when you can use it for more than one season. So I love being able to double up my decor purposes. So one side has sunflowers, the other side has a fall farmer's market sign. And then at the bottom, now you could stop there and just use it as just the sides of the crate and put blankets or whatever is in it that you want, or you can finish off the bottom. The best thing to do for the bottom is to get one of these painter canvases. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that this is an 18 by 20 inch. I could be wrong. Anyway, but you can find this in the crafter section. It's the larger painter flat canvas, and I think 2 come in a pack in the craft section. I'm just basically tracing my line onto that canvas and I'm scoring it. Now you can see here I'm scoring it on the back side, and the finish, the cut lines are so much smoother and cleaner when I cut away from it. Once I have that area all cut off of it and it's cut down to the size that I need for the bottom of the crate, I'm going to go ahead and staple that onto the bottom of the crate so that it actually is a functional, usable crate. I will recommend to have the paper side down and the canvas side in, because it makes it easier to be able to wipe out on that canvas fabric from the actual art canvas if you decide to put something in this. The paper side will, over time, I think, maybe deteriorate a little bit. It's better to have it at the bottom. Now, I also decided, once I stapled it down, I didn't want to just leave these staples exposed, so I'm going to put a little fabric just to cover up those staples to make it nice and clean and high quality and finished. Projects are so fun. You can stop there, or you can just keep going. In my craft room, I love to just keep experimenting and keep playing with things. So at this point I thought, you know, I really do love the crate on the side, but it would be even better if I just stained it a little bit with a paint water stain. This is just a little bit of black and brown paint mixed together with water, and it turns into the most easiest usable stain. I love this stuff. I just decided to just paint it. And then I thought, you know, it could be cute here. I could stop, or I could take it a little further, which I thought, I'm going to add a bead handle on both sides of this crate. Why not? So again, at any point you can stop. It's just to give you the idea of making a crate, and look at how cute it is using these signs from the Dollar Tree other than just hanging them up in your home. They have so much potential to just get creative. So I'm taking my drill, I drilled 2 holes into each side of that wooden side of the crate, and then I cut down the wire. It was a beaded wreath from the craft section. You can get them for $1.25. I stained mine to match the wood on the crate, and then I'm going to just pull that up. I believe I have 15 beads on each handle. I'm going to pull that up, wrap that wire around nice and snug so it's got a nice quality handle on it. This is like the easiest project. All it takes is just a little bit of creativity and willingness to do it. I'm going to wrap that around. You can see coming around the side, coming back in, and then I'm going to try to tuck it all the way underneath the bead as tightly as I can, so that wire is not going to be poking out, and I'm going to trim it down. Once I've got it trimmed down, I decided, you know, I'm going to do one last important step. I'm going to go back in at the very bottom, because I can see where that canvas is at the bottom, and I want it to match the edging of the sign. So I went ahead and added a little paint there, and also paint on those staples. I love pumpkins, and I love that the Dollar Tree has so many options. All 3 of these sized pumpkins are from the Dollar Tree. We're going to take these 3 pumpkins, some fabric, and a craft dowel stick, and we're going to turn it into something super high-end, high quality, and beautiful. And stores like Kirkland's and even Hobby Lobby, they charge so much for these. These are just some random pumpkins from the Dollar Tree and some fabric that I had on hand and a craft stick. I measured it by bringing up one of the corners onto the pumpkin because I want to make sure that fabric is going to be able to reach all the way around the sides of the pumpkin. And I'm going to cut up both sides so we can have a nice square. Now I believe it was probably about 13 by 13 for this pumpkin, maybe 14 by 14. I always like to with my fabric just so I don't have to cut another piece. I like to be a little generous. So I'm going to pull up one side, I'm going to pull up the other side, add some hot glue, and I'm using a popsicle stick just because this is a thinner fabric and I don't want to burn my finger. I'm going to press down so it's nice and snug, and I'm going to just keep pulling that fabric up on all the sides one by one so it's nice and tight. When I get to those extra pieces that are kind of poking off and not pulled tight, I just pleat the fabric. I tuck it in on the sides, keep pulling it and tugging it until I get it as smooth as I possibly can get it. You can see here I'm just working on this last little part where I've pulled it nice and tight. Now that that's done, you're going to need to cut a hole at the bottom of that pumpkin and at the top of the pumpkin where there's hot glue. It's going to be a little bit harder to cut that hole. It's not really that difficult. I'm just saying it's a little bit tougher. But you can see here that the dowel stick is going to go into the larger bottom pumpkin. We're going to add glue so it's all stuck together. And then we're going to add on this moss. You don't have to do the moss. I personally love moss. I know you've probably seen me use it a lot. If you've been watching for a while, especially in the fall time and Christmas time, I love using this moss. I added some moss, and then on the stick itself, I'm going to add some glue because I really want this to be quality. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to fall apart at all. So I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to add some more moss. And then after that, I'm going to stack on my last pumpkin. And this turns into such a high quality, all supplies from the Dollar Tree except for that fabric. I had that on hand from, I think, Joann's. And you can get that fabric, I think, at Hobby Lobby too. But it's such a high quality piece and it's so beautiful. You could put it on any table in your home and it is such a showstopper. I hope you give this one a try because it's really fun to make. This gorgeous sign from the Dollar Tree has so many beautiful elements to it that all I want to do is just add to it. Now I have this other sign from the Dollar Tree a while ago and a bunch of florals. We're going to bring them all together. This other sign is cute, but I've always known I was going to turn it into something else. I'm going to basically take it apart because I want it so that I can help the other sign, the newer sign that came out this year. I want to be able to make it stand up. Again, these signs are so beautiful and you can hang them up from the Dollar Tree, but I want to be able to take it a step further. I thought this sign would be even better if it was standing upright and it had some 3D dimensional pieces more than just the blessings and the beads. Since they started the project, we gotta finish it for Dollar Tree. We're gonna add on some leaves. We're gonna add on a 3D big beautiful sunflower. This is one I have had in my craft room forever and I finally got to use this sunflower. I bought this thing probably like 10-15 years ago. I've had it that long. I decorated once upon a time for fall and I've been holding on to it forever. So today I'm using it, which was really fun. I'm also going to add in some sprigs. I love that word sprig, by the way. I'm going to add in some little sprigs of some little florals all inside the flower area of the petals, and then I'm just going to keep playing and adding with it. I feel like the more texture, the better. When it's done, it's ready to stand up on a table and it is just so beautiful to look at. There are a lot of things in this world that are pretty great, but I gotta tell you, being in my craft room is one of the best ones. I love my time in my craft room and using my hands and creating something and using this talent that God gave me. I hope you get a chance to be inside your craft room and try some of these ideas. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It always helps out my channel, and I'm gonna recommend this video right here if you missed it. I've got a whole bunch of fall videos that are coming out that you don't want to miss, so don't forget to click the subscribe button as well. Thanks so much for stopping by, and until the next episode, bye friends.